What's up, gamers? It's Commentary Bot 5 here, back with a new commentary video. This is my first commentary video in 2 years since my last one, appropriately titled Epic Gamer Has Mental Breakdown or something like that. And man, I think that video was about I think it was right before the Ukraine war started, which is fucking crazy. And then it started the next fucking day. So it's just it's almost like a little historical document, but at the same time, I think my general sentiment in that video hasn't really changed too much. I mean, I've had pretty consistent views on political stuff for a long time now. And as a person, I've fluctuated a bit, from, just certain areas. But I'm not going to talk too much about politics. It's not what this video is about. I was just kind of reflecting on my previous commentary videos. But the thing I always talked about was fucking single payer healthcare. I think I have multiple videos about single payer healthcare. And the Luigi thing happened last month, and it fucking feels like way longer than that, but it was only a month ago. And when that happened, everybody started talking about universal healthcare and stuff again. And usually that's only discussed during the presidential election cycles where Bernie Sanders was running. So it's been years really since it was even seriously discussed. And now it's obviously going to go away again cuz insurance companies run our system of government and society and whatever. And, Americans just gladly accept eating a shit sandwich for a healthcare system. But all that bullshit aside, I've just kind of been reflecting lately and reflecting on, like I said, I have had consistent political views, but I've changed a lot as a person. I've kind of fluctuated between the piece of shit and becoming a better person spectrum. That's kind of what your teenage years and 20s are like anyway, I guess. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a little existential about it, but, I turned 25 recently, double digits, and I was just thinking about, art and stuff and kind of, my arc of, working on things. And, I've had, a bunch of different jobs over the years. I started, I think my first, I had a couple, weird jobs as a teenager, I painted a barn and, I don't even know. It's a fucking commentary video. I'll fucking let it rip. But my first actual job was I was 17 going into senior year of high school, and my local newspaper had an internship just over the summer, and it was a full-time staff writing position. So I did that when I was 17, and I would cover city council meetings, sporting events. I was writing for two papers that were kind of rolled out of the same office. So it was kind of a tri-county area that I was covering. So I was going to all these small towns, city council meetings, school board meetings, and writing and learning about local government. And it was really interesting. And at the time you don't really appreciate it like that, but it was, interesting. And so when my internship was up, they kept me on as a stringer, which basically means you get paid on a per article basis instead of a salaried position. So I was still doing that throughout senior year of high school, for sporting events or, school board meetings. I do a few of those and whatever. And so I get, paid per article. And then when I graduated, obviously, I've never been a good student. Even in college, I was never a good student. So, I didn't have good grades or anything. And I only applied to one college, and it was because they had, this animation program that the South Park guys went to. And so, I wanted to go there. And so, obviously, I didn't get in. And then I didn't really know what the fuck I was going to do with my life. So I started working at a pizza place as, a delivery driver. And I did that for about 6 months, I think. And I saved up some money, and I kind of just had this whole mental breakdown and just decided to go out west to Seattle and Oregon and stuff. And so I did that for a couple weeks, and then I ran out of money. And coincidentally, right when I ran out of money, I got a job offer from the paper for a full-time position just doing what I was doing. So I went back and I worked at the newspaper full time again for about a year. And I just did the same stuff, city council meetings, county board meetings. Like, you learn a lot, and you definitely learn a lot about society. And I was in like a rural area, and this was an interesting time. This was like 2 years into Trump's first term. And you just got to see like the shift in like how people think about things, especially like older people and, people that do like manual labor and stuff. And it was the county that I lived in was like a Obama county 2 times, and then it switched to Trump, and since then I think it's been Republican every time. So that kind of just is like a microcosm of rural like Midwest America, I think. And that's all interesting and whatever. But I quit that. Just I saved up money. I was like, I'll try and go to school. So I went to like a community college. I moved to Minneapolis. And then COVID happened, and then George Floyd happened, and that was a whole experience. I don't want to get too far into that, but I lived like 4 blocks from where George Floyd got murdered, so I was like kind of in the heart of the storm. And that was just like, I already had like pretty left wing. I'd say like at that time it was definitely more leftist views than like progressive, and not a lot of people have like the nuance to separate that, but it's basically like the difference between like communism and socialism versus like, progressivism. And it's, even to this day, like I think I've fluctuated on like the leftist spectrum. I've still maintained like my core political values, but I'm definitely not a communist, and I'm definitely not like a flat out socialist. I think some people might brand, like Bernie Sanders says he's like a democratic socialist. I don't even really know what that means because it's just like such a broad definition. But if you look up Teddy Roosevelt's, his third, like when he ran for president the third time as like a progressive party candidate, if you look at that, that platform is pretty much what I believe politically. And then like FDR's second Bill of Rights, like proposal. So I feel like I'm not, or even like JFK's platform, like I'm definitely not radical, even though now through years of like conservative bullshit, it's been framed as like radical. It's really just common sense, like basic human decency stuff. And so I don't really feel like I'm out of the realm of, whatever by believing these things, like, single payer healthcare, public education, like all these things that are now sadly just a lost cause, but like whatever. So anyway, I moved from Minneapolis. I lived there for 2 years, went to community college, actually got good grades there, and then transferred to the animation, like, or well, not really an animation school, but a film school that the South Park guys went to. And, obviously it's been 3 years now that I've lived in Colorado, and there's just like too much to say. Like, all the people I've met, all the things I've done, all the changes that have happened, like, it's just a lot. Like, it's a lot to recap. So I'm not going to do that. But artistically speaking, I really started working on music more. I started writing stuff. Like, I'm writing the sci-fi thing, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. I'll just get through this, like, kind of life recap first. But I went through film school and stuff, and like I like some classes, and like some you really learn a lot and some you don't really learn anything at all. And, when you're making art too, like it's really down to you. Like you can only learn so much. But my favorite thing I've ever done, and like the favorite thing like I've ever made and the most worthwhile experience I had was the Saloon Shootout animation, which is on my channel if you want to watch it. I made that with my friend who drew it, my friend Elijah. Shout out Elijah. And we're probably going to keep working on stuff in the future too. We actually just talked yesterday about working on stuff. And so basically, like, I came in with like the idea for this sci-fi thing, and it was kind of what I was working on at the time, or that version of it. And I wanted like a proof of concept, like just like a scene out of that. So we picked like a 2-minute scene, and then he drew everything, like full credit to him for drawing everything. And then I shot it and like, moved the pieces of paper around for like the stop motion and stuff. And it was like literally just like a South Park early like JG Quintel like thing. Like that's what we kind of based it off of. And so it took like 12 hours to shoot 2 minutes of like the stop motion thing. Like that's how long it takes. But I was like, moving the pieces of paper around and shooting it for like all these hours. And I was looking up at like the wall in the animation lab, and they had a framed cover of a magazine for the South Park like cover or whatever. I think it was like one of the early seasons. And I was just looking at that the whole time I was like doing this, and I was like, this is like where I meant to, like, it felt like one of the rare times in my life artistically, like this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was like, even to this day, one of the best feelings I've had in my life. And like I did all the sound, I did the music, I did one of the voices, and like it really was like a vision, like, and it was, a combination, obviously working with somebody else. It was, and I say it's full 50-50, honestly, like, because it wouldn't exist without him, but it was like to a degree a vision that I had that I wasn't able to like ever express. And so getting that down just really was like very vindicating, but also doing it, the whole reason I came out here was like years in the making, and getting to that point and then like actually doing it, I was just like, holy shit. Like, and I've heard like the South Park guys talk about it on like podcasts too, like going to film school here, and it's the exact same structure. Some of the same professors even. I never had them, but like some of the same professors that like taught the South Park dudes uh, are still here. And so, like that was really cool. And yeah, so like made that, and then now artistically I'm working on music. I put out like some acoustic tracks about a little over a year ago, and then I put out one single last October, and then I'm working on 4 more acoustic, singer-songwriter tracks coming out soon, and then some more stuff beyond that that's a little bit different, but that's further down the line. So really, though, I've just been focusing on making music, being able to play and sing songs live, and then also writing my sci-fi story. And the sci-fi story is like a animated series idea I have that's like, very adult oriented. Kind of think like Cowboy Bebop, but it's not. I mean, just tonally it's the same, not anything plot wise or anything. But I've really like refined down like my script. I took a screenplay writing class, and the final assignment was to come in with like a 10-page screenplay, and I came in with fucking 60. So like that's kind of how thought out, this first episode that I'm working on is. And this is getting a little abstract, but like basically I have this concept for I'm thinking like it's not an anime series, but it's like that structure where it's just hundreds of episodes. And so I have the first 10 episodes outlined, and then I'm working on the pilot, which is going to be like a movie basically. If you've ever seen a show that kind of does that, where like the first episode's like an hour and a half, and then all the other episodes are like 25 minutes or whatever. So like that's kind of the structure I'm working in. And so I wrote the first version, and it was like 60 pages. And then I wrote the second version, same characters, same conflict, but like tweaking story changes. And that was like 28 pages. And then I did it again, and now I'm at about 15 pages, but like I have a lot outlined. So like it's going to go a little bit faster once I can kind of get into it more. But basically like I'm on this third version. I'm really like refining it, and then I'm working on music, and that's like my 2 primary focuses, like just in my life. Like that's what I want to do. So I'm working on those things, and I might actually have another like short, 2-minute scene from the new version of my sci-fi concept, just to get like a proof of concept thing out. So I would definitely post that when I make it, but like, that's going to be hopefully somewhere soon down the line. But like I really treat it like a job, and like I'll either write or I'll work on music, and like switch off. But I also was kind of looking at my YouTube channel, and it's kind of funny because like I started making Halo machinimas I think when I was like 13 or something around there. And yeah, I had several film projects where I made Halo machinimas, and I posted most of them, if not all of them. I think that were like actual film projects on my channel, like Hey Man, Heaven, like those ones, documentary. Those were all like assignments for classes. And they went over like it's fucking weird because they actually got screened in like a theater room, and I remember Heaven, which is actually, I cut off the beginning of it because the beginning of it is actually like me in like a room, and it's like a metaphor for like purgatory and stuff. And then it cuts into Halo. So like the first, there's like a 4-minute part at the beginning that I cut out, and then there's like the 2-minute or whatever, however long it is, Halo part at the end. But I just remember being in the theater, and like family and friends and everybody could come because it was like the final, project screening or whatever. And it went through the beginning part, and then it cut into Halo. And there was like a mom, a parent or whatever behind me, like right behind me. And she's like, how did he do that? And it was like the most like vindicating thing, because it's like I don't really care what people think. Like, it's like it's Halo Machinima. Not everybody's gonna fucking get it. But for me, it's like a form of like how I'm able to express myself. It's really easy to write comedy that way. And so when that happened, I was like, okay, well, that's really cool. Like, I appreciate that. And so basically, though, I was going back through YouTube, and I was just kind of looking at like the stuff I've done, like the commentary videos, the gameplay videos, the Halo Machinimas and stuff. And I want to get more into that. Like, I want to be more active on my YouTube channel. So I did the Fallout playthrough. I made a couple other, shitty animations, and then like Halo Machinimas. Some political stuff, but not really. Like, I'm not going to be an inherently political channel, but I'm not going to also shy away from, saying whatever the fuck I think. But, yeah, so going forward, just on, like, the YouTube front, I'm going to keep posting, any actual, like, films or projects I make. And then I'm going to really try and stick with this Fallout series, and then, maybe some other random gameplay stuff. I've been talking to some of my friends that I used to play Call of Duty with that are really funny. And so I might try and get, some gaming, just like whatever, stuff. And my mic quality, though, fucking sucks, because I use like a headset when I do those videos, and it's literally like a day one edition, like Xbox One headset, so it fucking sucks. And I'm using a Blue Snowball right now for this, so like this is probably okay. Maybe you can hear some extra mouth noises. I kind of, when I talk too much, my mouth gets all weird, but whatever. So yeah, I'm kind of doing that, and then I'm going to be coming out. I finished editing the second episode of my Fallout series, so that'll come out after this video, but I did want to kind of space it out a little bit. I'm not going to do like back-to-back things, because I don't want to just become like one type of thing. I kind of want to be like a variety channel still in my own way. But I was also like, in terms of my screenplay I'm writing, once I finish that, which is going to be, still probably down the line a little bit, and then outside of whatever scene I might actually animate, I might just do like a table read through. Like, once I get it to like 95 pages, just like a full read through of that, and then maybe have like some actors, read the lines for characters and stuff. I think that might be cool, so I might be doing that. But yeah, and I think I might do a playthrough for Halo, like the original trilogy. I have like some ideas just for like content, because I want to be more consistent. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, and I've fucking been posting on YouTube since I was like 13. So it's like, that's, maybe a little bit stupid that I haven't reached that point. I mean, I used to do mod showcases, and those would get a lot of views, and I just didn't enjoy it. Like, I was really only doing it just because they got views. And so I'm not going to do that again. But like, like I've been through so many eras of life and creativity and stuff. And so like to finally hit 1,000 subscribers would be really cool. But I'm just going to, be as consistent as I can in my own way. And, if I have topics for commentary videos, I'll do that. If I have Halo Machinimas, I'll put those out. If I, do more stop motion stuff, I'll put that out. If I, want to do a table read for my thing, I'll put that out. And then for music and stuff, I'll link everything below. Like, I'll link my music stuff, some videos I've mentioned if you want to check those out. But for music or whatever, my name is Space Garden. And so I have a Spotify. I have like stuff on like Apple Music, whatever you use. If you just look up Space Garden, that's me. I'm on there. But I'll link the YouTube for my music, and then I'll link my Spotify, and then anything else you can find on whatever streaming platform you prefer. And, I think that's really all I have to talk about right now. I think that kind of sums it up. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too long. I know it's a little incoherent and stuff, but just kind of stream of consciousness, commentary video. And yeah, but I really appreciate the support. I'm very fortunate to have like a pretty consistent number of people that like show up and watch and like most of my videos. So I really appreciate that. Like the likes mean a lot. I don't get a whole lot of comments, but when I do, they're usually pretty nice. So I appreciate that. And yeah, just thank you for the support. And, I'm going to be working on a lot of stuff for the rest of my life. So stay tuned for whatever the fuck I put out. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.